All right, today we're tackling a question that is honestly one of the most urgent on the planet. How do we share our most vital resource? We're going to dive into the UN's Global Rulebook. Yeah, there's a rulebook for all the rivers and lakes that cross international borders. This is the stuff designed to prevent the next water war. So let's get right into it. I mean, it sounds simple, doesn't it? But hidden in that one question are some of the toughest challenges in international relations. Think about it. If a river flows from country A to country B, can country A just build a massive dam and basically turn off the tap for country B? Or what if country B pollutes the river, poisoning everyone downstream? See, without clear rules, these aren't just hypotheticals, they are the very seeds of major international conflict. Okay, so Section 1, a world of shared rivers. Before we can even get to the solution, we've got to wrap our heads around the sheer scale of the problem here. I mean, we live on a planet where water just does not care about the lines we draw on our maps. And you know what? The people who wrote the UN Convention, they totally saw this coming. As the world's population grows, as our climate shifts, those increasing demands and pollution they talked about, well, they're putting a huge strain on these shared systems. This isn't some theoretical problem for a classroom. It is a direct source of real-world tension that desperately, desperately needs clear rules of engagement. So what did the world do about it? Well, that brings us to Section 2, the Global Water Rulebook. The international community actually came together to create a framework. Think of it like a global user's manual for how to share water without starting a fight. And here it is in all its glory, the UN Water Courses Convention. Now, this was adopted back in 1997, and let's be super clear here. It is the only global legal framework that lays out the basic rights and duties for countries that share water. But, for any of these rules to make sense, we first have to agree on what we're actually talking about. Okay, first up, what even is a water course? The key phrase you need to remember is unitary whole. And this is absolutely crucial. The convention does something brilliant here. It recognizes that a river isn't just the water you can see on the surface. Nope. It's a complete system, and that includes the groundwater connected to it deep underground. That is a modern scientific understanding of hydrology baked right into international law. So smart. And an international water course? Well, that's pretty simple. It's just when that entire system, that unitary whole of surface and groundwater, crosses a national border. The second that happens, bam, this entire rulebook we're talking about officially kicks in. Which brings us to Section 3, the two golden rules. Now look, the convention is a dense legal document, I get it. But its entire philosophy, the whole thing, can really be boiled down to two essential, super powerful principles. These two ideas are the absolute heart of the agreement, and it's all about balancing rights with duties. And here they are, side by side. On one hand, every country has the right to use the water in a way that's equitable and reasonable. That's the fair sharing principle. But on the other hand, they have a duty not to cause significant harm to their neighbors. That's the do no harm rule. The entire convention is basically a constant search for that perfect balance point right between those two ideas. But wait, equitable, what does that actually mean? Well, let me tell you what it doesn't mean. It definitely does not mean just splitting the water 50-50. Oh no, it's way more sophisticated than that. It's a delicate balancing act. The convention says countries have to consider everything: their geography and climate, the social and economic needs of their people, how many people depend on that water, the effects on other countries, even whether or not alternative water sources are available. The point is, context is everything. Okay, so we've got the big principles down, but how do you actually put them into practice, day to day? That brings us to Section 4, how to be a good neighbor. Because the convention doesn't just give you ideas, it lays out a clear, practical process for how to cooperate. And the foundation is really simple. You have to talk to each other. Countries are literally obligated to cooperate and share information. We're talking things like water flow data, quality measurements, what the ecosystem looks like. I mean, think about it. You can't be a good neighbor if you're not open about what's happening on your side of the fence, right? And this is where it gets super practical. So let's say a country wants to build a huge new dam. They can't just show up with bulldozers and start digging. Nope. This three-step process is mandatory. Step 1, you have to formally notify your neighbors and give them all the technical data. Step 2, you have to give them time to actually study your plans and see what the effects might be. And Step 3, if they raise any concerns, you must enter into good faith negotiations to find a fair solution. And that review period, it's not indefinite.
They can't just drag their feet forever. The default time laid out in the convention is 6 months. And this is so important because it creates a predictable, structured timeline. It stops projects from being stalled forever, but it also makes sure that neighbors have a real, guaranteed window to evaluate the impacts.
Okay, on to Section 5, protecting water for tomorrow. And this, for me, is a really crucial part of the whole thing. This convention isn't just about arguing over how to divide up water today. It has this powerful, forward-looking vision for protecting the environment. First and foremost, there's a clear, direct obligation for countries to protect and preserve the living ecosystems of these watercourses. It's not just about treating water like a product to be bought and sold. It's about recognizing it as a living, breathing system.
And right on the heels of that is a clear mandate to prevent, reduce, and control pollution. The goal here is simple: stop any contamination that could cause significant harm either to other countries or to the environment itself. I mean, the convention even gets down to the nitty-gritty, telling countries to take action to prevent introducing alien or new species that could totally wreck the ecosystem. It's just a really comprehensive vision of what it means to be a good environmental steward. And this line, right from the preamble, it really just captures the spirit of the entire treaty. Think of it as the mission statement. The whole point is the optimal and sustainable utilization of water for both us right now and for all the generations to come. It's about locking in water security and a healthy environment forever. So there you have it, a clear, balanced, forward-thinking set of rules. The principles are there, the procedures are all laid out. But, having a rule book is one thing. Getting everyone to actually play by it is something else entirely. Which leaves us with the biggest question of all, really. What's it going to take to turn these words on a page into real, lasting Vader water peace on the ground?